Jumping straight into the video, YouTube. Today's video is finally how I make a door using just a table saw. So quick, short little video. So first off, you have to line the middle of the saw up. I usually will take a ruler or a square and give myself half an inch. I'll measure the blade half an inch tall, and then you line up the fence. So you want the middle of the piece of wood to be dead center with it, and you can offset it a little bit to the left or right. The goal is to swap it twice, so swap it through once, then you flip it around to the other side to make it twice, and just so that you know it is dead center and it's not really offset. So you have your stiles and your rails. I cut, obviously all of these are cut the same, so whether it be the top portion, the bottom portion, or so on, they all have the slit right down the middle, and you want the slit to be, depending on whatever you're going to put in the middle of it. You can see there the end game. I use a 1/4 inch piece of birch, and so I just want that 1/4 inch piece of birch to fit in there. And so, like I had mentioned, so you has about a half inch tall, and line up the center of it. You can see as I was doing there. So you line up the center of that just a little bit off, and then when you flip it around and you do the other side, you can see it's just about a blade width on each side. Okay, and so I actually have a once you do one of these, if you do a ton of doors, it's a good idea to go ahead and set up to have just one. And so you can see I want to push the blade off half inch from the side, from the fence to the middle piece, which is what I was doing there. And then so I adjust the blade up or down, so it's vice versa. So however, the piece that you just cut out, whatever that was left over is how tall you want your blade to be, so that it fits perfectly into that joint. And while I have a second, please like and subscribe to the channel. The channel's really growing. Please help me grow one subscriber at a time. So here I'm just clearing off really the excess, and I actually, the way I do this is I'll start it a little lower than I think I need, but you can always take off more wood. You can see I tried it and it didn't really go in there, so I know I need to shave it just a little bit more. And once you could use a router for this. It's just I've always used it on a table saw, and so flip it over, shave off just enough to where I think it might fit, and it really didn't. I don't think it fit well here either. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. And so once you get that to fit the way you need it to go, then you can move on to the rest of them. And here it was just a little bit, it was cutting it just a little bit too long, and so I went ahead and I adjusted my fence in a little bit to shorten that of what I have to cut off. And so this is just me doing all the doors. You can see how perfectly it fits just right in there. Okay, and so once you get all of those done, you have all the sides and then all the tops and bottoms. I'll take some 180 grit sandpaper and I'll clean up the edges on all of these. And really, because once you get the middle part put in, you can't really, you can, but you can't really sand it. And so it's easier just to go ahead and sand them all now, so you don't have to do the step later. And I use just I have a Festool sander, palm sander, and then I use the Serious Grit 180 grit sandpaper. And so I use Top Bond glue. I've always had good luck with it. No, you know, none of these really ever break. And I make a lot of doors. And so really, I try to make sure I have one really good side. And so I'll push it to where I'll line them up to where all the front pieces of these all look pretty good. So I know anything facing me is generally pretty good. And so I just take what's going to end up being the top and the bottom of each door. And so I put one there, and then I've already got my 1/2 inch sheet of birch cut to where I need it to be. Those end up being, you want to give yourself, so let's say that distance is 12 inches, you want to do it like 11 7/8, just to give yourself just a little bit of room for that piece to move around as it needs to. And then so glue the top and the bottom on, which is going to be in the sides, and so that really gives you almost a perfect door. And then so once you get that, I use the square, and I make sure all of these are even. And then you could use clamps beyond this, but I use some cabinet door clamps that I ordered on Amazon to hold these tight. Depending on the season, if it's winter time, I'll let them dry for like 24 hours. It's probably a little overkill, but you know, I usually do this stuff like this at the end of the day, just so that it can dry until the next day, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever the case is, so that I don't have to worry with it while I'm in the shop. And you can see here the clamps that I use, and then you just clamp them in. And so hopefully my next video is a full kitchen cabinet video. I'm hoping to get most of it done a few days after I shoot this video. And so hopefully the next video you see from me will be the full cabinet job. And so these clamps they're really expensive, but they work really well. You just you tighten both sides at the same time to make sure that you get equal pressure along the door. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Always, please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.